Hello, Springfield Baptist. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Phil Klober. First of all, I'd like to express that I'm very honored to uh, be ordained with Ben Johnson. Ben spent a lot of time at our house at a younger age, and I know him to be a really great person. He and Jennifer, his wife, were really good friends to our son. Pardon me for reading some of this, but if I don't, I'm surely going to forget something I want to say. While I tell my story, I ask that you keep in mind a verse from Proverbs. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. I am the product of German and Czechoslovakian immigrant grandparents. I was born and raised in a small town in western Arkansas. I had wonderful, caring parents, a fantastic brother, and an extended family that worshiped the Lord. I was raised in the Catholic Church and attended parochial elementary school. I had two uncles who were like my second dad. One of them was always taking me hunting and fishing. The other had a small country store where I started work at age 11. Everyone was a child of God in his eyes. I saw him feed multiple families of farmers when the crops were poor and never asked for repayment. He was the first bit of iron that sharpened me as a Christian. At the ripe old age of 13, I was sent off to high school away from home at a boys' boarding academy and was taught by Benedictine monks. I had a lot of good Protestant friends, but needless to say, I had a narrow view of religion. Like a lot of teenagers, I guess I didn't always make the best decisions in those days, but several things happened in my life that made me question my relationship with my Savior. Then I met this absolutely beautiful Methodist girl from my hometown. Her name was Evelyn. From the start, she let me know that I needed to fly right or it was over. She was the second bit of iron that sharpened me. For years, 4 years later, we were married and struggled through the last years of engineering college. Then it was off to start a family and a career. Trouble is, that was the order that I lived my life. Work was always seemed to be a little bit more important than spending quality time with my family. After being convinced that we couldn't have children, we were overjoyed to adopt our son Brad. Then 22 months later, bingo, our beautiful daughter Amy came along. Even then, I said yes to my work far too often. I had a loving wife and two wonderful kids that waited for me to give them some of my time. We lived in San Antonio for several years, and then in 1989, we got the opportunity to move to a town called Springfield, Tennessee. You know, it just seemed different here. The people were super friendly and so kind to us. Very soon, our future son-in-law, started hanging around the house. The story was that he and our exchange student were friends, but soon we found that there were other reasons. Not only was he interested in our daughter Amy, but somehow we became good friends with Jamie's parents, Jimmy and Sarah Singleton, who are active members here. They gave us the guidance of guardian angels, and I was being sharpened again. Something had been missing in my spiritual journey, so it just seemed natural that we should try out Springfield Baptist. Dr. Jerry Oakley visited our home a few times, and we discussed a relationship with Christ from a Baptist perspective. I was immediately sold. A whole new world opened up for me. I couldn't hear enough or read enough about my new Christian faith. I was sharpened again. My son also sharpened me. 3 days after his 19th birthday, our family was discussing a TV program about organ donation. Brad expressed that he wanted to do just that. A few minutes later, I tossed him the car keys to go out with his friends. If you look across the street from the Springfield Middle School, you will always see a cross and some flowers on the very power pole that took his life. To satisfy his wishes, his organs were donated to help others in need. The first people to run to our side when our son died are in this church right now. You know who you are, and Evelyn and I will never forget it. During the time following that tragedy, I was just existing. A very high percentage of people in that situation lose their marriage and their mind. After months of shock, I realized that my marriage was stronger than ever. My daughter was one to be very proud of, and some of the people who cared the most were our friends who attended this church. Guess what? I was sharpened again. John 16:33, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Over about a 12-year period, not only did I lose my son, but several things happened to my family and to me that were seemingly out of our control and almost unbearable. We were definitely under attack by Satan. I was so bitter that I didn't want to discuss it with anyone. Then one day I was driving home from Nashville and something happened that changed everything. I'm sure others on the road were wondering why I was giving the steering wheel a good tongue lashing. Well, I was mad at God for allowing all of these challenges in my life. I was having a world-class pity party. Then for some unknown reason, I experienced an epiphany like none before. I found myself begging God for forgiveness, praising Him and thanking Him for providing me with all of the things in my life, including the tragedies. I asked Him, okay, God, what do I do next? Then a strange message popped into my head. I'm convinced it was God saying, trust me, I've got this. I recalled something Evelyn said to me. I was expecting God to handle my challenges the way I planned it, not according to His plan. Just like the words from a famous song, sometimes God's greatest gift are unanswered prayers. I waited and more trials came, but I handled them with a calm confidence. I was being sharpened like never before. Isaiah 41:10, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Fast forward a few years, although I didn't deserve them, the blessings flowed. My life and my perspective totally changed. When Evelyn experienced some debilitating health problems, God provided the opportunity for me to be at home with her instead of working at the office. Rather than being overwhelmed by her circumstance, I just naturally considered it a joy and an honor to be there for her and take care of her. In turn, I depend on her wisdom to teach me patience and understanding. She continues to sharpen me. I still have the same loving Christian wife and soulmate of 48 years. We have a beautiful Christian daughter, Amy, who is a great mother, a Christian son-in-law, Jamie, who is a great father, 3 wonderful Christian grandkids, Carter, Caroline, and Kate, who are definitely the best in Robertson County, and a church full of Christian friends. I've also known our new pastor, Dr. Evans, since before he had that tinge of gray hair. Believe it or not, we actually got to know each other when we both volunteered to burn hamburgers at the Highland Speedway. Hey, Brother David, how cool are we? You see, God was directing this whole drama from start to finish. All along the way, He was placing people in my life that sharpened me as a Christian. During my time here at Springfield Baptist, I have been blessed with many opportunities to serve. I am also happy to be in an outstanding Sunday school class where they accept my shortcomings. Now I am honored to be of service as a deacon of this wonderful church. Thank you for the opportunity. I firmly believe that God and those in our church community will continue to sharpen me. Please pray for me, and I will pray for each of you along this journey.